They made the comment, small enough to deny, clear enough to feel. Your face changed first, then you laughed. Not because it was funny, because the room got quiet for half a second, and you did not want to be the reason it stayed uncomfortable. So you smiled it off. You changed the subject. You made the moment easy again. But that is the part they remembered, not the line they crossed. Your recovery, how fast you removed the consequence. The first test did not measure your anger. It measured your resistance. You called it minor. They called it permission. This is how quiet disrespect grows without looking serious enough to stop. A joke with a hook, an interruption with a smile, a preference ignored like it barely mattered. Nothing dramatic happens. That is why you doubt yourself. But the body knows first. Your eyes pause. Your breath changes. Your hand stops halfway to the cup. Then you choose. Let the line remain visible, or clean it up for everyone. The first mistake is almost never loud. It is small. Someone says the thing. Everyone hears it. You feel the room shift. For 1 second, there is a thin silence. The room knows something landed wrong. But you do not let that silence breathe. You laugh first. You wave your hand like it was nothing. You say, "No, you're fine." Then you pick up the conversation before anyone has to look at what happened. On the outside, it looks mature. It looks easygoing. It looks like you can take a joke. But underneath, something else happened. You felt the line. Then you protected the person who crossed it from feeling the weight of it. That is the quiet trade. Your discomfort managed by you. Their behavior left untouched. And because the moment passed smoothly, no one had to admit it was a moment at all. They did not only notice what they said, they noticed what happened after. They noticed your face, your pause, whether you corrected the room or repaired it. Some people are not studying your anger. They are studying your recovery. How fast do you come back warm? How quickly do you make the air comfortable again? That is why the first small test matters. Not because every joke is dangerous, not because every interruption is an attack, but because some people learn through the cost of their behavior. And when there is no cost, the behavior feels safe. They were watching whether the first test changed anything. If nothing changes, they do not have to become more careful. You already did the careful part for them. You adjusted your face. You adjusted the room. And they learned that crossing you does not create a stop. It creates your cleanup. If this hits home, subscribe. We are building a place for calm people who are tired of being disrespected. Then the pattern starts spreading. First, it is a joke. Just one. You smile it off. Next time, the joke is sharper, still framed as harmless. Then it becomes an interruption. You begin a sentence and someone steps over it. You stop talking. You look down for half a second. Then you smile again because you do not want to look difficult. Later, your preference gets ignored. You said you did not want that restaurant. They choose it anyway. You hear yourself say, "It's fine," but it was not fine. It was only easier than making your preference visible twice. Another day, someone arrives late. No apology. They sit down casually, like your waiting did not count. You check the clock, then hide the check. You say, "No worries." And now the lesson is sharper. Your time can be wasted if you make wasting it feel painless. This is how a small permission becomes a social pattern. A crossed line with no pause becomes easier to cross again. a late arrival with no visible cost becomes easier to repeat. An interruption repaired with a smile becomes part of how people talk to you. And one day, you wonder why they feel so comfortable doing it. But comfort was trained. Little by little, moment by moment, smile by smile. Here is the uncomfortable part. Politeness can become self-erasure when it removes every consequence. You may think you are being calm. You may think you are keeping peace. You may think it is too small to mention. And sometimes it is. But when small things keep returning, they are no longer small. They are data. They are a pattern. The danger is not that you smiled once. The danger is that smiling became your automatic repair tool. Someone makes it awkward, and you absorb it. Someone lowers consideration, and you normalize it. Someone crosses a small line, and you make sure no one feels uncomfortable except you. That changes your position. You stop being seen as someone whose discomfort changes the room. You become the person who repairs the room after being crossed. That is not kindness. That is access without friction. And access without friction is often treated carelessly. The correction is not drama. It is not a speech. It is not proving that you are hurt. It begins with one controlled pause. Let the room feel the line for 1 second longer than your fear wants to allow. Do not laugh before you decide. Do not smile before you understand what you are smoothing over. Let your face stay honest. If someone interrupts you, return calmly. I wasn't finished. Then continue. No lecture, no apology. And let the room adjust to that sentence. If someone makes the joke with a hook in it, keep your voice even. Let's not do that. Then stop talking. The silence after that line is not your enemy. It is the consequence returning to the person who created the moment. If someone ignores your preference, say it once more without decoration. I said I'd rather not do that. Then let the silence belong to them. Pause before repairing. Name the line without performing outrage. Return responsibility without attacking. Stop rescuing people from the natural discomfort of what they just did. A calm correction is not an explosion. It is a small cost reappearing. Not every small line needs a dramatic reaction, but every crossed line needs to remain visible long enough to matter. Because what you erase too quickly, some people learn to repeat. The goal is not to become harsh. The goal is to stop making disrespect painless. Let the pause do some of the work. Let your face tell the truth. Let the room notice. You do not need to attack the line. You only need to stop hiding it. Because the first test rarely measures your anger. It measures your resistance. And when you stop smiling it off too fast, minor stops becoming permission.